Recording. Okay, awesome. Trying to think what else I normally say. That's it. I think I've covered all the bases. Normally I say, how's the weather? That's my opening line, but this
Weather is hot today. It's like 80 degrees, humid. I'm in New Jersey, so a New Jersey summer is usually kind of humid and hot. So that's not really for me, so I'm kind of inside a lot.
Are you more of a cold person?
Oh yeah. I went to college
Right.
in upstate New York for 4 years, where it like just snows from like October through May. So
the best. That's the best.
Oh, you like it too?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I hate that. I have to sleep with my window open because I like being cold. I don't know if that's too much information for someone I just met, but it is what it is.
Definitely prefer the cold and all 4 seasons too, which is why like when musicians make the big move to Nashville or LA, I'm thinking about the weather. I'm like,
yeah,
it's sunny all the time, which like a lot of people like, but I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's always humid here. It's never like a nice hot.
And where are you?
I normally say to like people in America that I'm like in London, but I'm not.
Where? Try me.
Okay, actually, Cambridge. I don't know if you've heard of University of Cambridge.
Oh,
Cambridge University.
Oh, you're at university. Okay, my sister just studied abroad at the University of Edinburgh, so we didn't really get the chance to go to like around London or anything, but we did do like a day trip where we went right over the border. So I was like, maybe I'll hurt
nice
from just looking at the map a lot, but I don't really know where you are.
No, it's an hour by train, like above London.
Cool. Okay.
It's like, yeah. I mean, that's the easiest place to say. I'm not in the center of Cambridge. I'm in like a small town in the countryside, but
oh, that's fun.
Yeah, farm. Just smell shit in the air every day. It's really, really nice, actually. Yeah, idyllic. Yeah. It's the one thing they don't tell you in the movies.
Yeah, right.
Okay. What was I gonna say? Shit. I've got questions. None of them are hard hitting. I mean, there's one that I'll say. I'm like literally in the question I wrote. This is quite a hard question. So
are you starting with this?
No. It's like midway. It's not. I don't know if it's that hard. I mean, we'll see. If you can't answer it, just say. Yeah. But like none of them are like crazy, like weird, like Nardwar, like fucking.
We'll keep it light today. Perfect.
Yeah, we'll keep it light. Okay, I'll just do an introduction and then we'll get into it. If I just disappear, my laptop's died. It shouldn't be dead. It's full charge, but this happened last time.
Oh no. Okay.
And like midway.
No worries.
Yeah. So I haven't just left. I haven't just left. Okay. Yeah, I'll do an intro. We're recording now. My mic's not. Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of An Anatomy of the Arts. I'm your host, Ethan Neville, and today we are graced by the presence of a wonderful singer, a wonderful songwriter. Oh, shit, that was the question I was supposed to ask you.
What?
Wait, restart. I was like, there's one thing. How do you say your last name?
Oh, it's Sandt.
Fuck, okay, yeah.
Allie Sandt. And everyone asks because there's a D in there, but the
yeah.
Yeah. No, you're totally fine. Don't worry. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Right. That was the thing. Right. I was on a fucking roll as well. Okay. Anyways.
Do your thing.
Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of An Anatomy of the Arts. I'm your host, Ethan Neville, and today we are graced by the presence of a wonderful singer, a wonderful songwriter, Allie Sandt. How are you, Allie?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Oh, I'm good. We did just have to redo that intro, and that's why we were giggling, because I forgot to ask how to pronounce her last name. So
yeah,
that was a great start. Yeah, I was like, the whole time we were talking, I was like, there's one thing I'm supposed to ask you.
No, that is A-okay.
Normally with my guests, I really start at the beginning. So I wanted to ask you to begin this conversation off, is where and when did music start for you?
Sure, yeah. I am lucky to have grown up in a musical family. We live in New Jersey, about a little less than an hour from New York City. So I wasn't really in the city all the time as a kid, but just growing up close to one where there's concerts and like the overflow of people kind of fall into my area, we were around a lot of music. My dad is a guitar player and he sings. So my first introduction to music was just through him playing around the house and through various bands he was in, everything from like bluegrass to Irish music for a little bit, to an Allman Brothers cover band. Now we're kind of at the Grateful Dead point of that journey.
Nice, nice.
Nice, yeah. And I'm the oldest of three girls, so my sisters and I grew up singing like harmony and Andrew Sisters and that kind of thing. I would like boss them around, teach everyone their parts, kind of thing.
Nice. Nice. And what happened for you to start releasing your own music? I know you were in your own band, Seeing Double.
Yes.
But what was it that pushed you to start creating?
So in high school, I was in a few cover bands, but had always been, probably from my sophomore year of high school, experimenting with writing about my own kind of songs and that kind of thing. But it was never something that I was thinking like, oh, I have to release this. It kind of happened very organically. And in high school, I started putting out demos that I would create on SoundCloud. So that was my first introduction to like releasing music-ish. But then by college, when I realized how easy it was to put your own music up on streaming services and actually be able to like show other people that way, I just thought like, why not? Like, let's just try it. And I don't really remember thinking like, this is the beginning of what I'm doing for the rest of my life. Like, I think it was just like, oh, of course I'm going to do this. Like, this is what I've always done. It just was very natural. So, over the years, it has become this like bigger thing in my mind. Like, it's a big deal releasing music, but it really it's when it started out, it was very casual. I wasn't thinking a lot about like, what's a master and what's like that kind of thing, So that's pretty much how it started. And then I got used to producing myself and like being in the studio as a recording engineer on all of the tracks with Seeing Double. So that was in our college campus studios.
Amazing. And I just want to touch up on one thing when you said that you didn't start seeing it as a big thing. Do you see it as that now?
Yes. Now I do. So much more thought goes into the whole process. Everything from writing at the initial point and just thinking, okay, I'm writing this with just myself and an acoustic guitar, but I'm already thinking like, okay, how are we going to play this live? And how are we going to translate it to a studio version and the arrangement of all of the instruments? Maybe the drums could come in here later, but like it doesn't even matter yet because I'm just playing it myself. But now it feels like a big deal because it's this big thought out thing that from point A, like just the beginning of writing something, I'm already thinking about how it's going to be released and the visuals that go with it and all of that. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. And how do you deal with that pressure now? How is it that you go around coping with that?
It's been a big help since graduating to meet my people and start collaborating more. I was in a band in college, but since releasing my own stuff, it was I felt a lot of pressure because, it's just me now. Like, I don't have this solid group of people that are going to be playing everything and helping me out. So in the past probably 6 months, I've started playing with new people from around New York City, Long Island, New Jersey, and meeting like aspiring producers and engineers, some that are still in their last year of college. And that has been so nice, just having that like support system, and people who bring their own ideas and creativity to the table have only improved my songs. And like it kind of has like their touch on it too, which is nice.
Amazing. And I did briefly mention about Seeing Double, but when that group disbanded, I think it was October 2023. And with your first single, The Flood, you'd been making that for quite some time, but that the initial starting point of that single and the group disbanding had actually overlapped. How was the shift from being in a band and being the front woman of a band to a solo artist for you? How was it?
Yeah, I think there were like two different ways that it really changed a lot. The first being just the amount of time I had to focus on my own stuff. You're right. Like while I was still playing with Seeing Double, I was in the process of recording all of the songs that I have out now. But it was always
Right.
like, all right, Seeing Double's my thing. I have shows with them all the time. We're always thinking about what's next. But in my downtime, I want to record my songs eventually. So like when we have time, let's just go in the studio, record the drums, wait a few months whenever the bass is players ready and around, we'll do that. It was very like, oh, whenever. So since the group disbanded, my full attention and focus has been able to be on my songs, and it's been just such a quicker turnaround. And you haven't like heard any of those newer songs yet, but just in the past few months getting to like just look at that, it's been really nice. And the second thing is making a leap from like fronting a band and then fronting my own project has been different because Seeing Double is a little heavier than what I do, maybe. Not that it was a heavy band at all, but it was like indie rock, and like we kind of fell into that category. So I tried to front it like it was that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, of course.
Just a little bit more energy on stage and dancing and jumping and screaming, and like maybe that isn't like really me, I guess, like at my core, but it was really fun, like almost character to play.
Yeah.
And helped me get into that idea. I feel like I'm still searching for what that front woman persona or whatever is going to be for my own band. It's very like scary now going up on stage because I'm like, oh, this is just like my name and it's all the songs I wrote, like not hiding behind
me.
Like band, you know? So that was the other change, I guess.
Absolutely. And when you're fronting your own project, and obviously with trying to balance the band and your own project at the same time, in what way does your music kind of change by being able to fully, I mean, it might be quite an easy question to answer, but how does it change from not having that much pressure to deal with a band and everything going on at that point to just being able to solely focus on your own thing?
Oh, no, that's a great question. I think that the music I'm writing and recording now is much more similar to the music I would listen to in my free time.
Right. Like?
Are we doing top 4 now?
Go for it. Top 4.
Okay, so Ethan asked me to list my top 4 songs, and I responded, I'm like, are these my top 4 favorite songs of all time? And he said yes. So this is a lot of pressure, and I did my research. I dove into my Apple Replay like history from all the years, and then I have this playlist with all of my favorite songs, and I was like, I have to pick 4. So I picked 4, and I have an honorable mention. So number 1, I wrote it down.
No, I love the commitment.
Number 1 is You Can Call Me Al by Paul Simon. Do you enjoy?
Absolutely. That's a great opening song.
It is
amazing.
Like, if I had to pick one favorite song, that would probably be it. Like
the trumpets.
I had to. And it's also just in the past year, I have been flying more than ever because I went on a trip with my friends, and then I went to this music thing in LA, and then I visited my sister who's studying abroad. And I hadn't really flown a lot before then, and I get a little anxious, and this is my takeoff song. So everyone needs a takeoff song, a song that they love, and like it for me, it didn't have to be something calming. It needed to be something to amp me up.
Yeah.
So this is the one I play in my headphones, and I'm just like, we're doing this.
Yes. Amazing.
Love Paul Simon. I'm seeing him in like 2 weeks. I'm so excited.
He still tours.
So he retired from playing live because I think is either completely deaf in one ear or like almost completely deaf.
Yeah.
But just announced a few months ago that he's coming back to play again. So immediately my friends and I were like, we're making t-shirts. We're treating this like it's a Taylor Swift concert. Anyway, okay, 2.
Okay.
Number 2 is Pin It Down by Madison Cunningham. I don't know if you're familiar with her.
I haven't heard it. I feel like I've heard her, but I don't know if I've heard the song.
She's like a singer-songwriter guitarist from LA, and is known for the intricacies of what she plays and sings over, and was a total inspiration to me for like trying to become a better multitasking guitar player and singer. And this song is just like everything. It's tuned down to like C standard on guitar. It's really groovy. The drums are insane. And you have to listen to it. It's so good.
I'll add it to my liked songs and I'll give it a listen afterwards.
Next up, we have kind of a left field pick for what you might think my music taste is. Or maybe not.
Metallica.
No. Okay, so this is actually probably not gonna be that crazy then. This is Finally Alone by Mac DeMarco.
I'm seeing him in November.
No way.
Boom.
What is he touring right now? Does he have an album? Is it the 9-hour album?
No, so he's releasing a new album, I think, in August.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh my gosh, wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's releasing a new album. And basically, where I'm from, as explained, is like a small village, countryside. But the closest thing is the Cambridge Corn Exchange. No one comes there apart from...
What is the Cambridge Corn Exchange?
It's this really like... I mean, it was massive in like back in like the 80s and 70s. Like Johnny Cash was there, Hendrix, The Who, Freddie Mercury. But then it's like it's slowly toppled down to like touring UK artists.
Yeah.
And like tribute bands. It's kind of like that kind of thing because the music scene in Cambridge isn't that big. But I was in the shower. My mum knocks on the door and goes, "And I thought someone had died. I was like, what is going on?" She's like, "You're not going to believe this." She was obviously not in the room with me. She was outside, any of you weirdos. But she was knocking, and I'm like, what is going on? What is going on? And I was like, "Mum, I can't." She kept saying this thing to me, and I was like, I can't hear you, Mum. The shout is too loud. I've got music on. Just wait. I was obviously a lot more polite. But I got out, and she's like, "You're not going to believe this." She's like, "Guess he's coming to the Cambridge Corn Exchange." And I'm like, "Oh, no. A Jimi Hendrix cover band." And
right.
Mac freaking DeMarco and me and my friends, like, I was like messaging everyone because everyone loves him. I'm like,
so good.
We're going right now. Yeah.
Oh my God. So are you a big fan? If your mom knew that you liked him,
yeah,
you must be a big fan.
I got his oh shit, what's it called? I bought a 10-year anniversary release of his vinyl on his vinyl. The My Kind of Woman.
So I think that's the name of it. I'm not like this big. I'm not like a massive fan where I know all his stuff, but he put out this album in 2020. Here Comes the Cowboy.
Okay.
With the smiley face cover. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Wait,
I have it right here. Hold on.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So I heard this album and I didn't know any of his hits. I didn't know like My Kind of, none of that. This album like changed the way I think about recording music. I'm like,
is that the one with Heart to Heart? Is it Heart to Heart?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's so simplistic. The whole thing is so stripped down, but the drums sound so good. And like that song in particular, Finally Alone, is just like, it's so simple, but it's so good. So that's another pick.
That's number 3. Number 3 is Finally Alone.
Number 4 is Hey 19 by Steely Dan.
Oh, okay. I know Steely Dan. Of course, I know Steely Dan.
You might
know. Wait, let me
play a little snippet because I think you know it because it's pretty popular.
I don't. Maybe I do. I feel like I do.
It's so good.
Oh, I have it on my liked songs.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do.
And the lyrics are a little strange, as they are. That comes with the territory.
Okay.
It's like about this like older man not being able to relate to this like 19-year-old girl anymore. It's weird.
But when 19, that's Aretha Franklin. She don't remember the Queen of Soul. Fair enough.
So it's a little strange. But I heard the song when I was like when I was 19. And I was like, this is my song. I love this. And just like maybe not relating to the lyrics, but the music's fantastic. I have an honorable mention.
Hit me.
Because I had to.
Of course.
there's this band called Dan Hicks and the Hot Licks that like
Okay, you've lost me there. Okay,
no,
tell me.
when I tell you, no one I have mentioned them to has ever heard of them. So this is like my gatekeep moment where,
Okay.
but I don't want to gatekeep anymore.
It's about to go out to 3 billion people, this podcast. So
I know. So guys,
yeah.
tune in.
Oh, he's really? Yeah, okay.
And he has this song called It's Not My Time to Go, which is like this Western kind of like jazzy acoustic sounding song with all these harmonies all over, and it's just like weird, but it's so good. That whole album, I think it's called Vivando. Let me see.
The home of Happy Feet?
Oh, maybe it's called The Home of Happy Feet. Let me see. I think I'm thinking of another song off of it. No, it's called Last Train. Oh yeah, it is.
Hicksville, the home of Happy
Last
Feet.
Train to, yep, exactly. And that album is fantastic, but the one song, It's Not My Time to Go, is like, it gets my honorable mention number 5.
Boom.
Those
And
are
that is the top 4 of Allie Sandt.
We did it early. I love it.
Let's wrap the podcast up. Thank you guys so much for listening. No, I'm kidding.
Thanks, this is fun.
No, they're amazing. They're very like diverse, and you can see that at your early, like your dad being in every band and the diverse like it's a diverse setting that you're like brought up in.
Yeah,
I
sure.
I feel like that definitely helps with being exposed and being open to new music, because I feel like a lot of the time when you're not growing up in a diverse setting, you're very confined to a certain like atmosphere, like
Yeah.
Montana and Wyoming and all that is very cowboy, very folky, very, you know what I mean? And
Right.
yeah, that's a great top 4.
Thank you.
I need an applause button. I need one of those. Anyways, wow, that was great. Okay. Back on track. I mean, right. So to date, you have 4 songs released,
Yes.
all just incredible. But I wanted to focus a little bit on each one, because it's not often that I talk to an artist like at the like the kind of the beginning. It's
Okay.
like
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a year,
Start.
but like, yeah. But I'm going to start with your latest release, Landslide.
Oh yeah.
Which is a great song. I was going to make a little joke saying that you'd written it, but I wasn't sure if you
Someone did think I wrote it. Like
really.
Like, this is beautifully written. Like, I can't believe
No.
you. Like, and I was like, thank you so much. No.
Yeah.
I was like,
oh,
girl,
wow.
how did you miss that?
I have to admit I've done that before with a guest of mine. They were telling me, I knew that they'd released a cover, and I've found through a cover of their Sparks by Coldplay, and I didn't
What is
realize Sparks by Coldplay.
Oh yeah, okay.
I found them through that, and a song called Les Sen and I from Monsters in Paris. She did a great cover of that. Shout out Mavis Hill. But I didn't realize that another song that I was asking her about, she'd covered, and I was like, "So how did you come up with this?" She's like, "Oh."
When I know it, is it like kind of a deep cut or?
I think. I mean, I didn't know it. I think it's called "Feeling Lost." I might
doesn't
be
ring a
really.
bell, but
No, I mean Sparks. I could really tell with the others, but I couldn't.
yeah.
And anyways, but your most recent song is a Fleetwood Mac cover song
Yes.
of the incredible Landslide. It's very. I mean, I would say it's quite different to your other 3 songs in just tempo,
sure.
and it's very stripped back. So what prompted you to make this your, the 4th release?
So it was never my plan to put out a cover. I hadn't really thought of it before, but there is a small record label from New Jersey that had reached out to me and said, for Women's History Month, we're doing a compilation album of local female artists covering all female artists. So
amazing.
And I had known someone I went to high school with that worked there. So I kind of had an in, and I was like, let's do it. Like, what song? And they're like, it's up to you. So I, while I do play a lot of original music gigs with a band or even just sometimes by myself, I play at restaurants and bars a few times a week doing like 3-hour-long cover gigs. It's just kind of like a job at this point. But Landslide is a classic. Like, people always ask for it, and whenever I play it, that's just like a crowd favorite. So I was so comfortable with it already, and the deadline was like they had asked me when it was close to the deadline. I'm like, I think that's the obvious choice. So
Yeah.
I recorded all of my other songs with like nicer microphones or with a lot more time. And this was so
Yeah.
short that I was like, how do I want to do this? And I actually recorded it live. Like the main track is me playing and singing at the same time, which I haven't done before, to like a little pocket recorder. And then layered harmonies on like that same day. So it was really quick turnaround.
Wow. Yeah.
And then I just kind of mixed it myself, like mixed it, you know, and then they
Yeah.
mastered it, and that was it. It was out. So it was just a really
Oh,
fast
wow.
process. Yeah.
I loved it. I thought it was a great.
Yeah.
I mean, you kept it like quite close to the fundamentals of the song. It wasn't like you were trying
Yeah.
to, I don't know, make it something it wasn't. And I think
Right.
that's definitely a fine line that people have to really traverse when they're doing a cover song. Is
Yeah.
especially trying to not annoy fans, because I mean, Fleetwood Mac is a massive band, and
Yeah.
people can be really protective of people's songs, and like
Yes.
it's crazy. But no, I thought you did the song. It was beautiful.
Thank you.
I mean, like I've mentioned, it was a tamer song to cover. So what am I trying to ask here? With it being a tamer song, did you feel? Okay, pause. I'm stuttering a lot.
No, that's okay.
Oh my god, that's never happened. Wow. I'm not saying pause. I'm still here. I'll just skip that question. I don't exactly know where I was going with that.
That's okay.
But okay, I know a few artists that have a stacked discography. I actually interviewed someone a couple of months ago who's really split their catalog with covers and original songs, and I think they said that they'd done it because of lockdown and people weren't, you know, I mean, it was a lot easier to cover songs than
Right.
because you didn't have the whole band. And although you hadn't tackled Landslide a cover before, would you be open to covering more songs and releasing them on more platforms?
Ooh, I wouldn't be against it, but I don't think it'll be my next move because I have so many written songs that like my band and I will play an hour-long set of just original music, but I am playing catch up now and recording them. So that's like priority number one. I just really want to get out some of the newer things I've written because a lot of what's out, well, all of what's out now was either written in high school or like right before college. So I'm ready to like show what I've been working the last 4 years or so.
Amazing. And I know you said that it was like the same day that you recorded it and mixed it, but did you give it any thought during that moment that you were covering a Fleetwood Mac song that would be heard I mean, anytime you put something out, it can be heard by thousands, millions, however many. It's an infinite number, well, to a certain extent. But did you ever give it any thought that, you know, how you want to tackle it and make and under that amount of pressure when you were covering that song?
You know, luckily I didn't. I think if I like went down that rabbit hole, I would have felt a little
Yeah.
And when I was recording it, I was like, oh, I could do something like different with it. And there are songs that bands have covered where they change up the original a lot and they add something new to it. I don't know that I did anything brand new with this. It was just like, I want to capture what I sound like when you go to hear me at a bar. Like, because my other stuff is so produced that I like it as a studio version. But when you go to see me, it's a lot of the time it's just me and a guitar. So I'd love to show people like what that sounds like in that kind of side of my performance.
Yeah, that's amazing. I definitely think it's a fine. I mean, like I said, it's a fine line to cross. I don't know. I think a lot of the time people get a lot of flack for like trying something new, but then that's what music is. But then they get a lot of flack for trying to be too much like someone else. So I mean, at least you didn't fall into the trap, and I think it definitely says something about your characters. That, I mean, I guess you tackled that when you were younger. Because it's not like you're a veteran and you're still dealing with that pressure. So keep going. That's my inspirational words of advice.
Yeah. I agree
again,
about the like being compared to other artists thing. It's
yeah,
really tricky to get out of. Like when I was with Seeing Double and we put out our song Leah, it kept getting compared to like a Fleetwood Mac or an ABBA. And then
right,
after that, there was so much pressure that I was putting on myself to write another song that sounded just like it. And then ultimately did not write anything that I was
yeah,
happy with. So just kind of making the art for you and then letting people listen, but not having to like a lot of out of the 3 songs I have, the attention has most been on my song The Right Time. And that's my favorite out of the 3, so I'm
hmm
glad. But in the future, I'm not gonna try to copy that song just because it, like,
yeah. I
did
was
better
going
than
to
the
ask.
other ones,
Yeah,
quote,
yeah,
unquote,
yeah,
you know? And another thing is, like, you can also I found that I can just use the comparisons to my own advantage when marketing it. Like, if people say, "Oh, this
yeah,
sounds like Steely Dan," I'm gonna make 20 TikToks telling you to listen. If you like Steely Dan, listen to
yeah,
this. You know,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's tricky though, because then people are like, "You're comparing yourself to the greatest." I'm like,
Mm,
"No,
yeah,
I love them."
yeah,
You know?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely a smart thing to do. I don't know why people get so pent up about comparisons. Like, if one
Yeah.
person says it, then that's it, and that's what don't understand what people can actually do about that comparison.
Right. Like
Um,
Donald Fagen is not thanking you for having his back, and it's okay.
exactly. Like, I'm sure he really actually wants new performers and new positions to actually, make it through the ranks. I just don't understand. I don't know, especially gatekeeping smaller artists. That's the one
Right.
thing I always hate is when, I mean, it's a little off track from what we were saying, but when people in the
Yeah.
comments will be like, "Oh, they were my biggest secret," like,
No, like, I'm not gonna tell
then
anyone about you. I'm like,
why?
"Please do.
Yeah,
Please
yeah,
do so I don't have
yeah,
to
yeah.
do all these ad
Like,
jobs anymore."
they aren't going to be thanking you for keeping you a secret. Like,
Yeah.
that's the whole
Like, you're
point.
not doing me a favor.
Yeah, please tell people. Um,
So funny.
okay, I mean, okay, so the flood. I said earlier that I think I only found out this morning that it took you quite a long time.
Oh.
Um, quite a long time. Because you made the YouTube video about it. It was a very
Mhm.
good YouTube video. I love the editing.
Oh, you saw
Yes.
my behind the scenes
Yeah,
bit?
yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah, 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 yeah. It's amazing. What I mean, you've loosely based touched on the pressure that you're dealing with, but what what kept you motivated with releasing the flood over such a long period of time where people would just be like, forget it, I'll just do something else.
Yeah. I think that it was just, like, that song I had played over the course of like 5 or 6 years with 20 different musicians in different bands. Like it I started playing it with my high school band, and then I played it with my other high school band, then I played with Seeing Double for a little bit, and then I covered it with my band, and then like a whole new lineup. And it was I had played it with like acoustic with people. It was just like anytime I was asked to do a gig, that group of people would learn that song because it was
Yeah.
like my song that I'd written like early on that was good for a band. So um I don't know. I think that I was like, I really want this to be my first single. It's not necessarily my favorite song I've ever written, but
hmm
if I don't put it out, I feel like I'll be doing a disservice to my younger self because I put so
Yeah.
much like, it's just been a staple and like what I play live for so long. And how I play things live has dictated kind of like what I put out
hmm
next because it's honestly like whatever the more times the band can play it and get comfortable with it, the easier it is to just go and record it.
Amazing. How old were you when you wrote the flood then?
Um, Probably 17, 8, maybe yeah, I think
Wow.
17.
Fair enough. That's crazy. Okay, so with it being your first release and with the small gap between the band disbanding and
Mhm.
this song being released, between those events, were you always in the headspace that, the solo career is the right move? What
Yeah.
was yeah?
Yeah, I think I like when I seeing Double had started, that was my freshman year of college, and I was looking for a band to be like almost I don't want to say backing band because that makes it sound like they have no role,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah,
I
yeah.
was looking for a band to play full songs that I wrote and brought to them. And Seeing Double was that for a little bit, and that's like how it started with Leah, which I co-wrote with another member, but like Bygones was one of our songs and Take It or Leave It. Those were like finished songs that I had brought to the band and then said, like, let's arrange it musically. Like, let's figure out what we're doing. So approaching a band like that is tough because it feels like a solo project if I'm thinking about it like that. So I had to change how I thought about it and say, okay, like, let's figure out how we can collaborate more. And then my outlet for that kind of musical perspective can be through my solo stuff. So as soon as Seeing Double disbanded, I was like, now's my go time. Like, this is what I've always wanted to do. And I had a lot of fun and experience doing Seeing Double, but now, like, I can have more creative control, which is like what I wanted, and experiment with working with different musicians too, because in a band you have your core group. But as a solo artist, like, I've just like loved meeting new people who play different genres. Like, I've been working with a lot of jazz musicians, and the sound they bring to my like demoed songs is just like mind blowing. Like, I just didn't know that they could sound like that. So it's been fun, like, experimenting and working with new people, which has, it's been great.
Amazing. And I mean, within your song, there are loads of little components, like little guitar licks, solos, riffs. Do you know, I mean, I saw on your video that you bring musicians in and you do Zoom calls with them and get them to, I don't know, you walk through that kind of stuff with them. Right. Especially with this, do you know that these small components that are making up your song, bridging those gaps, that's the avenue you wanted that song to go down?
When it comes to like specific melodies, there are some riffs that I'll write and like ideas I'll have where I'm like, can you play this here? But the more I've recorded with these people in the past year, they understand what I'm looking for now and like the overall sound I'm trying to do, where now I'm like, all right, let's go in the studio, like, play what you want to play. Like, and then they record their part over it. Like, it's less of me saying, okay, like, right here is this, right there is that. I'm always there because it's my song and I want to be part of the process, obviously. But I just was in the studio last night in New York for an unreleased song that I'm working on. And Teddy Ollie, who plays guitar in my band, he wrote this beautiful part and I had nothing to do with it. And it's like perfect. Like, we literally just went in. He's like, I'm like, you got it? Like, he goes, I got it. I'm like, great, go for it. And he just did the whole thing. And that's honestly like the direction that things have been going in with a lot of the musicians I work with now.
Right. How easy is it for you to just step back, especially with your own music now? Like, it's not Seeing Double where it's your own name attached. How easy is it for you to just go?
It's funny because I feel like I had a reversal. Like, in Seeing Double, it was harder for me to step back. But that was a band, and now it's my name, but it's easier for me to step back because I do love that band environment, even though it's under my name. Like, I don't want it. I want to hear everyone's talents on it, and that was a learning curve for me. I think I was definitely have like grown in my style of collaborating with people since Seeing Double, because it was learning like grace and how to work with other people and collaborate and like let go of the reins a little bit. Amazing. And also finding my people that understand like what I'm going for in my music is just a different thing.
Yeah. And when you find, I mean, you obviously have your band and you're still experimenting with other people. Is it easy for you to bring another person's idea to your band and then for them to pick up on it, if that makes sense? Is that
what do
kind
you mean?
So say I don't know if you said you were speaking with jazz artists, or like and working with them. If that idea was to come into a song, would it be easy for you to then be like, well, this is what A said, that's the direction I want to go in the song? Would they be all right in doing that? I mean,
would they be all right if I said, can you play this part here?
Yeah.
Yes, which is cool because they're like amazing, but sometimes I have specific parts that will go with the whole song. And I've just met these great people lately that are like, they're just there to serve the song. They're like, ooh, I like, great, I'll play that here. They're like, when do I have a little freedom? I'm like, the rest of the time, you know what I mean? So that's been cool to work with people that are just like all about the music. And like, I've always been fortunate to work with people like that. It's never been like a problem, but it's just, especially now when it's under my name,
Yeah. I mean, I hope you don't mind me saying, but you have an exceptionally powerful voice, and you can definitely hear it in the songs. And even if it's a bit lower down volume wise, you can
Mm,
definitely still hear it come through, and you can really hold a note like exceptionally well.
thank
How
you.
how do you find balancing that aspect of your vocals with incorporating bass, drums, God, I don't even know what that was, electric guitar, acoustic guitar, everything in production, and trying to make it all come together. How
Mm.
is does that skill come easy to you?
I think with the 3 songs I have out, especially with like Ace and Flood, where it's a little bit more belty,
Mhm.
it was weird recording the vocals because everything was already done. That was kind of the last element. Going forward now, I'm really liking playing these unreleased songs with bands a ton before we even think about going to the studio, because now we have it worked out on stage and we're warm and it's balanced. So then once we go to record, everyone has their avenue already. It's not like, where's this going? I kind of like having at least like the basics down from just repetition of rehearsing and gigging.
Yeah. And now, talking about Ace, I mean, all of your songs are heavily rooted in the influence that arose from the 70s and the 80s, and I mean, even the 60s.
Yeah.
And you can definitely hear different bands in each song. I don't know if that's something that is that noticeable to other people, but I feel like every song you've released is like an ode to a different period, a different genre of music. And I'm guessing that comes through you experimenting with other people. But
Mhm.
in this song specifically, what band would you say inspired that kind of sound? In Ace, sorry.
Ooh, I think Ace started with that riff that's in the beginning before
Mhm.
anything else. Um, and that came after I listened to one of my top 4 songs. I listened to Pin It Down by Madison Cunningham. And within that same few months, I was like, oh, I'd love to write a song like this where it has this complicated-ish like riff that I'm singing over while I'm playing it. And I'd seen live videos of her doing that. So that was basically like a challenge to myself. Like, can I try to come up with something that'll be like fun to multitask with? And also like little Neil Young too, like his heavier stuff was also like a big influence at that time.
Yeah. So brag again. I'm seeing him live in July.
Oh, no way. I just saw him in like September. He was great.
No way. Is he?
Yeah,
Is he
he's
good?
intense live. Like
Really?
I did not know what to expect. Like I thought maybe he'd be like sitting back, acoustic guitar, like full band, loud, like bring earplugs.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he was great. I like elbowed my way up to the front. I was the youngest person there.
Get out of my way. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. No, because I mean I saw Bob Dylan and that was a
Oh,
bit it wasn't
I've heard that like people have mixed feelings on him now, but
I mean it was in we saw him in the Royal Albert Hall and this was like I think the last time he went there he got called Judas because it was when he was shifting to electric music. He
okay.
was like he wasn't good. And I mean we're seeing Neil Young, it's BST Hyde Park. So he's with Cat Stevens and Van Morrison.
Oh wow.
And them three are headlining. So hopefully we don't have another Bob Dylan on our hands. But anyways, sorry. uh, back to Allie Sandt. How did the beginning of this creative process start? Like what prompted you to create this song? I mean, it's a much heavier tone compared to the first two. Where did it all start?
Well, once I wrote that riff, it was March of 2020, right before the pandemic, and
Okay.
before I had even gone to college. Yeah, so I wasn't playing with any of the people that are featured on this track now. But I did record demos, and they were a little softer at first, like more acoustic. But I don't know. When we play this live, the band tends to really like rock out a little bit. So
Right.
I was like, it'll be kind of fun to have like a heavier-ish song,
Yeah.
So that's kind of where it came from. And my friend Mike, who was in Seeing Double, played that like second guitar on the second verse with like all of the sounds and like that picky sound that you hear throughout it. Him, he's like really has that like Buck Meek from Big Thief sound down where he can like be really experimental. And after playing with him and Seeing Double so long, I was like, whether he knows it or not, was like a big influence for the song being a little like more
Yeah.
um sound effect y. That doesn't sound
Yeah,
complimentary, but it is.
yeah.
Yeah.
It is complimentary. Now, you have stated previously, and I'm not sure where you stated this from. This is from, I searched up Allie Sandt, and it came up with like a whole news article. I don't know if you said it in a
Oh.
show.
What'd you say?
They said they said you said that
Okay.
there's this cliche where nothing is original, and I think that's so. Okay, I'm gonna restart that.
Okay.
There's the cliche where nothing is original, and I think that's so true. It's like repurposing. I don't know if you said
Oh.
that in a show. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think I said that in Oberlin for the show we did in Ohio.
It was, yeah, I think it was on their website. I mean, it's a bit of this is the bit of a harder question from earlier.
Oh, okay.
But do you feel like anything you release will truly be 100% Allie Sandt?
I mean, it's kind of a hard, well, it is a hard question.
It's a
But,
hard question.
I think it's 100% me because it was the like patchwork of all of my influences that are unique to me. Whether I know it or not, like subconsciously or consciously making choices. This song should sound a little bit like a Steely Dan track. That'll be fun to kind of recreate. But I try not to go in with that second mentality because
Yeah,
copying like that feels like it's just gonna be trite. So I think they're 100% original to me, but like I said, like it's my repurposing of my influences and my
yeah,
experiences. So
yeah,
I know that my songs have definitely been compared by others and by myself to a lot of 70s influences. And I love that because I love those bands. So that makes sense. You know, it would be
yeah,
kind of strange if they didn't sound like that from the amount that I listened to all of those, like my North Star albums.
yeah, yeah, 100%. I think a lot of the time, I mean, artists are always going to be themselves. And I think it's true that none of them are 100% original. Like not in the way that it's not them, but everyone's influenced by everyone. It's very, I mean, especially now, I guess it's very hard to have like an original, I mean, maybe guitar riff or like acoustic chord because every chord has been like used now. I think that was a stat that I read. But it is also 100% you because everything it's an amalgamation. And I like this quote that it's not to do with music, but you are the amalgamation of everyone that's loved someone before you. And so like
Oh,
you're not an original person because you carry traits of everything before you, like someone
yeah.
does with the inspirations of music. But yeah, I mean that's my 2 pence
I
on it.
love that. That's so
Yeah,
true. I love the like analogy to it being through music 'cause you just explained perfectly what I was
yeah,
trying to say. Like
yeah,
it's just the scrapbook of
yeah,
all of those different
exactly. Yeah,
things. Yeah,
that's all
that's
anyone
great.
really is what they've been brought up on, what they are now, what they want to be. Every decision is really created with that in mind, I
Yeah,
guess.
for sure.
That got really deep. That
It did
got,
get so deep.
phew.
Look
And
at us go.
yeah, I know. Socrates and Plato right here. I'm in the dark as well. This feels a bit intense. Anyways, let's lighten the mood up a bit. This is still a music podcast. Can we expect more songs to be released like Ace? What is the musical direction going to be from Ace Landslide onwards?
Ooh, the musical direction is going to be, I think, pretty different.
Hmm.
Those, like I said, since those songs were written a little bit longer ago, my newer songs are just from like newer influences and types of music I'm listening to. It's really like whether it's going to show or not, I think it's really focused on drums and like different beats and kinds of things. Instead of like as much of a focus on the I don't know. I don't know. I lately I've just been like really excited to record drums for all of these new songs.
Yeah,
They're a little bit more interesting than like a straight ahead tempo. There's some more things going on like dynamically in the music. So I think it's gonna take a turn, but to be honest, I really like these. I think these are some of my favorite songs that I've
yeah.
written, like the newer ones. So everything I'm recording now like feels a lot more original to me.
Amazing, amazing. I keep saying amazing, amazing. Right. the last song that we've yet to cover is obviously your most popular. It's the song that I found from one of your, if you like Steely Dan, you'll love the song, or like
Oh,
a similar
yes,
post.
of
The
course.
Right Time, absolutely phenomenal. It gives me like bossa nova vibes, cafe. I mean, right, this I don't know if you can see this, but in my notes here, wait,
Mhm.
you're definitely not gonna be able to see. Okay, well,
Oh yeah, I can say a little bit.
can you see? It says
Let's
this
see.
song is beautiful. This song is beautiful.
Smooth
Chill.
Cafe.
Yeah, smooth cafe. I was like writing down adjectives like I don't know the song. But I don't know if you've stated about it being influenced by Steely Dan and Nora Jones, or other people have added those influences on. But did you feel like this song was always going to be traveling in the direction that it was going to be released as?
Yeah, I think I definitely had the Steely Dan influence in mind, because
Mhm.
I was finishing writing this at the height of my Steely Dan discovery. um,
Amazing.
but when I put it out and started getting comparisons to like Nora Jones and Carole King and like Fiona Apple, a lot of them were like, "Oh, you sound like this, like my voice does." I
Mm.
hadn't heard that before. It was a huge compliment, and like I'll take it. But when I was writing it, I didn't have any of those artists in mind, so that was really cool to hear people's interpretation.
Right. And I mean, with it being a lot of us a slower song, and
Mhm.
it is a bit left field when you play Allie Sandt, goes from The Right Time through to Ace through to The Flood.
Yeah,
I mean, it is a bit left field compared to the
like
heavier
Whiplash.
songs. Yeah. But it is, with it being the most popular, and you did say earlier, you said something like, you don't write in the mindset that you're gonna carry on trying to live up to The Right Time's popularity. That wasn't
Right.
your exact words, but you did say something along those lines.
Yeah.
How is it easier for you to just kind of have that thought and be like, yeah, I'm not going to do that anymore, or I'm not going to do that
Um,
anymore?
it's not easy, but I've definitely learned to remove myself from it, from the seeing double
Yeah,
stuff. Because that was such a big focus for so long, where I was like trying to write another song that sounded like Leah. So I also just found like the songs that I write that aren't the same and that are just based on what I want to do, I always end up liking better. So it's not easy, but it's just more of like a redirection and focus.
amazing. I keep saying amazing. I need to stop, man.
That's okay.
I was
I feel amazing today. Thank you. You're so kind.
talking to an actor the other day, or the other month, and he was like, we noticed that we kept saying the same word constantly, and he'd be
Really?
like, and then every like the last 10 minutes of the clip, we'd say it too much, and it was a big thing. And you'll see if you watch this back on YouTube, you'll see me like you'll be talking, really giving a good answer, and I'll be like this. Anyways,
We'll know why now.
yeah, I'm not shocked. You have previously said, and this was via Oberlin, that
Mhm.
almost always coming up with music has been while you're on a long drive, or been driving. What is it about that setting that does that for you?
Um, I think it's the like brain almost on autopilot, especially when you're driving so much for gigs. You kind of on a long road are just looking ahead and your brain is running about other things. So
Mhm.
it's nice to like have something to do where I'm like I have my hands on the wheel and I'm just not zoning out because we're being safe. But
Yes.
it's a yeah, it's the same thing as like vacuuming or taking a walk where you're just like not distracted by a screen or having to read something or
Yeah.
use your brain to do that. It's almost like you can turn your brain off and then let like a subconscious part of type of thing come in. But being safe.
Yeah, but being safe. We are
Yeah.
safe drivers here. Yeah, definitely. I think driving is the greatest thing ever. I think, well, maybe not driving. I love being in the passenger seat.
Are you a
Let's
passenger princess?
love it. I actually am. Shout out to my girlfriend Jess. She does not like my driving. She
Oh,
knows this as well. She'll listen. I don't know if she'll hear this, but she doesn't like my. I mean, I'm a great driver. Passed. I don't know if you do minors, but I passed with 0 minors. It's like
what is it?
minors. Well, when you do a driving test here, it's like you get majors and minors, and if you get
Okay.
if you get a major, you don't pass. But if you
Oh,
get like
that
8
sounds like
minors,
reversed.
yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah,
Um,
about my
we
driving. I
have
think
like the New Jersey, not to get off topic, but like a lot of people say like a lot of bad drivers are from New Jersey. Like this is a stereotype.
I've heard that.
Well, you know, the reason why, now I'm not including myself in this. I think I'm very safe. I actually drive like a grandma, but
Okay.
the reason that this is my theory, is because our driving test is in a parking lot. You have to drive around a parking lot at 5 miles an hour, parallel park, and then you're out. And people still fail. But yeah,
Wow.
you don't even have to go on the real road in New Jersey to pass your driving test. It's crazy.
And they just let anyone on there. They let
just
you on
let
there,
anyone on there. It's
zoning
great.
out, writing your songs. You don't even
Yeah.
have two. You don't have two hands on the wheel. You're writing songs. You're like,
Oh, I paper
this is
quill
great.
and yeah.
No, you have recently graduated. I think.
Yeah, a year ago.
Amazing. Especially after your run-in with the antique shop owner. I don't
Oh
know if
yeah.
you remember this. Is music your one sole passion and aim in life? You know, to create and to release and to tour and to sell merch and to just keep doing that. Is that what you think? Is that it?
I mean, right now it's all I'm focusing on.
Mhm.
I'm not like one of those musicians that one day wants to be an actress too. I'm not.
No,
No one wants to see that.
you don't want to do that too.
And like not really much of a visual artist. Like I can do my like graphics and things like that. Maybe design some merch, but the like out of the areas of art, I just really like music. I like writing. And I don't know that I would like, I think that's my thing right now. If life takes me in a different direction, I'm open to it. But I really am just putting all my time into like booking my shows and playing and writing and
Yeah,
recording. And it's like a full-time job.
yeah, yeah. And now, last question, because I have kept you a very long time. What can we expect this year from Allie Sandt?
Ooh, I think you can expect more music for sure, which is
Yeah.
and that's like all I'm gonna say because that is like my one focus. I'm really trying to just push myself and record because I don't love recording. I put a lot of,
Mhm.
once I get in there, it's almost like when you're being recorded, like filmed, and you can't be natural. But I'm getting over the hump of recording and trying to be faster at it to get some more stuff out.
Great,
Yeah.
great. Thank you. I mean, you've heard it here first. Thank you so much for sitting down and talking with me, Ali.
Oh,
It's
of
been an
course.
absolute pleasure. Thank you to everyone that's been listening. If you haven't listened to any of Ali's songs, you must. It's you must. There you go. It's now in law. But thank you, Ali, and thank you to everyone that's listened. And I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thank you so much for having me.
There we
All
go.
right.